Hello, everybody, and this is a salute to Muppet Vision 3D. I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Dawn.
Welcome to the Enchanted Magic Podcast. Tune in every week when we come on here and talk about things about Walt Disney World. We got some sad news because 1 week from the time of us recording this, Muppet Vision 3D will officially close at Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World. We enjoy Muppet Vision 3D. We typically go there on each visit. I've recorded it for the past year, so I'm going to try to put together a nice final video of it and cut to all the stuff before it closes down this week. So we're going to talk a little bit about it, about the history of it, about Jim Henson, what they're going to do with it, the whole thing. If you're not familiar with Muppet Vision 3D, it's a 3D theater type show in Hollywood Studios. So there's basically a pre-show you go into. It's funny. There's different things going on, a bunch of TVs. I do already have videos of it on this channel, so you can check them out. I'll link them in the description. And this week I'll have another one coming out. But there's a pre-show. You go into this nice theater. It's a 15-minute 3D thing. You put on 3D glasses, and basically Kermit the Frog comes out, and just all kind. It's funny, you know what I mean? It's good for kids. It's good for adults. There's a little bit of adult humor. There's a lot of kid stuff. Our daughter always is like dodging stuff.
She's grabbing stuff.
Yeah, because it's 3D. It's one of the. I hate to see it go. So they're doing away with it because they're going to move in a Monsters roller coaster basically, and they're going to retheme Rock and Roller Coaster at Hollywood Studios into the Muppets. There's all sorts of theories. One was that maybe they would move it into the Hall of Presidents at Magic Kingdom, but I don't think that's going to happen at least anytime in the near future. They, or at least I've found out. I don't know if they've announced it, but after it closes next coming week. There's several days it's going to be open just for cast members, and they're bringing in the big, nice video cameras and basically documenting it as it is before they start taking it apart. So I think there's like another week or something of it going, but the general public, we can't get in. It's just for cast members, and they're filming it. So I don't know. I feel like some of the stuff will be moved over to the Rock and Roller Coaster, but so. Not all of it's going to fit, so I don't know what they'll keep, what they won't keep. Yeah, the Miss Piggy fountain is a big item of concern to a lot of people out front. There's videos of it on our channel. And so there was also Muppet Vision 3D in California at DCA. It had closed in 2014 to make room for a Frozen show. This was the last thing that Jim Henson voiced himself before he died, so that's like a memorable thing. And now Disney has bought out, basically all the Muppet stuff, so they own it technically, but still I'm sure there's a lot of people that have fond memories. Jim died at only 53 years old. He basically got a crazy flu or pneumonia or whatever you want to call it, and died pretty suddenly. So this was the last thing he personally voiced. I think Kermit the Frog and Waldorf and somebody else in Muppet Vision 3D, but he oversaw the whole project. It actually opened up 1 year after his death, so it's got, significance. It opened up in May of 1991. So we're not looking forward to it closing.
No.
It's a funny...
At least Muppets isn't going away, like, forever. Like, at least they're going to keep it a little bit, like, retheming the whole Rock and Roller Coaster. Well, but it's still sad, though, because...
In my personal opinion, I mean, that theater's pretty big, but there are other places they could put it. And it, not even at Hollywood Studios. I mean, it could go to Epcot.
That's true.
There's all kind of room at Epcot.
Smaller.
They can make it smaller and keep it at Hollywood Studios. Even from what I'm hearing, this new Villain show is going to be at Hollywood Studios probably until Villain Land opens at Magic Kingdom. So, I mean, why not, if anything else, let that go for another, let's say, 2 years, a year or two, and then put Muppet Vision in that theater. I don't know, but it's just a fun... The whole area, I hate to see it go because
it's just so...
Yeah, there's Mama Melrose's is already closed. We went to the... I'm trying to think of the name of it. What's the restaurant? Pizza Rizzo.
Yes.
I really like the theming of it. There's all kind of stuff going on inside there. The food's not bad. All of that's going to be tore down. So we'll see what happens. I guess they'll wall that whole area off here in the next few weeks, and then that'll be that. I'm just glad I got plenty of videos of it, and we got to see it plenty of times. I'm sure this week it'll be packed.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because everybody's going to be trying to see it for their... I've already seen lots of people posting, like, my last visit, and they're taking selfies and all that sort of stuff. But I hope they take as much as they can and move it to the Rock and Roller Coaster, because there's a little pre-show area there. I mean, they're not going to be able to use, like,
the same thing.
But maybe some of the Muppets, or I don't know, something can move over there.
Because they've got like Kermit's suit and everything that's hanging up in the pre-show thing, and there's just a lot of things that they could use.
Jim Henson voiced Kermit the Frog, Waldorf, and the Swedish Chef in Muppet Vision 3D. And basically, I think what had happened was it originally said Jim Henson's Muppet Vision 3D on the front, but he had sort of a handshake deal with Disney that they were going to do this. Then he died. So for several years, I think it was just sort of his company still existed, and finally Disney made an offer, and then once they bought it, they took off the Jim Henson part. I think it was in, I don't even remember what year. Was it 04 or 4,
Yeah.
something like that? But anyway, it's going away. I mean,
Bittersweet.
Jim also helped create Sesame Street, which was on like PBS, and I remember watching that growing up. He created Big Bird and all that, and originally Kermit would be on there, I think, before Disney kind of got involved and then separated the two big time. But I'll just be curious. I feel like maybe they'll video it and hopefully put it, a good version of it, on like Disney Plus just for documentation or whatever. And then, like I say, that I feel like there's plenty of places in Epcot. Now, I don't know how it would fit in with the theming or whatever, but there's tons of empty space in Epcot, and there's already places they could use the building that's there, not anything happening, and put it in it. I really like the Hall of Presidents, but there's been talk of some people saying they could put it there, and it's about the right size, it's about the same size, theater. Now I don't know how it would fit in.
I was gonna say with the theming as well.
Yeah, but that would be two easy places. I would more so Epcot, and then even Animal Kingdom. Kermit's a frog, obviously,
Right,
and there's
true.
lots of animals, and Animal Kingdom could definitely use some more stuff going on. So they would probably have to build something at Animal Kingdom, but that wouldn't be an awful spot. But I doubt any of that's going to happen. I think they'll reuse 30% of what they can into the Muppet roller coaster. I kind of think once the theater closes in the next month or so, they'll go ahead and announce when Rock and Roller Coasters are going to be rethemed. I think it'll be a fairly quick, hopefully probably a 6-month type deal, because it's going to be the same roller coaster, just rewrap the cars. They've already showed some images of that, what it's going to look like. They're going to redo the theming out front, and then there's that little the sound check little room thing as you walk in, so that'll be Muppet themed, and maybe they can use the stuff like hanging all in the pre-show for the queue of that new roller coaster, that Rock and Roller Coaster thing. But that is our thoughts on Muppet Vision 3D. I feel like Hollywood Studios, because it's going to go down, they're going to be building that whole area, they're going to be walling it off. They're also going to have to wall off Rock and Roller Coaster at least for a little while.
Yeah.
So that's going to take all that away from Hollywood Studios. It's already, to me, like a small, very busy park. So that's going to just cram it make it even smaller, even worse. They did open the 2 new shows, Little Mermaid and the Villain Show, so that's going to help just a teeny bit. But you're going to lose, especially Rock and Roller Coaster. That's a big ride, you know what I mean? So that's going to be down for however many months. I would think they would make it quick. They just refurbished it last year. They I think worked on the track a little bit and all that. So I would think they would try to make it as quick as possible. And I'm thinking maybe they go ahead and start taking all the stuff out of the Muppet Vision 3D. I've heard they already store random stuff like at the bottom of Rock and Roller Coaster because it's dark in there and there's plenty of area to store stuff. Maybe they go ahead and get that stuff over there. And then, when they close it, it's whatever they need's there and boom. But I'll be curious to see how long that takes. But I just hate that it's closing. I hate that Hollywood Studios is going to kind of be scrunched. Tighter. Yeah, because it'll take a year or two to get that Monsters, Inc. roller coaster. Now, that's going to be a cool roller coaster.
It is.
And if you look at the Imagineering videos of how it's going to work and all, it's going to be cool. But that wole area is going to change. Yeah. And I don't know if other restaurants are being built with Monsters. They probably are, but because they lost Mama Melrose, it closed about 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, yeah. And now Pizza Rizzo, and then there was a Muppet store that they've only been using for seasonal merchandise. So of course that's gone. And then they'll build this big roller coaster building, and I think it'll be similar to like a Guardians of the Galaxy building, where they'll either try to hide it a little bit, or Disney's good at that.
Oh yeah,
they'll paint it a certain color or theme the outside of it. It don't really look like a huge roller coaster building, but that is what's coming.
Because it's going to be an inside roller coaster, right? Yeah,
it is, which I like because then the weather don't affect it.
True.
and it's, hopefully.
And I feel like Disney, they know that, so I think that's why they have a lot of theirs.
Yep. And then if it's hot, you'll be inside. If it's cold, you'll be inside. All that stuff.
True.
But there's so many little hidden details at Muppet Vision 3D. About every time we're there, I'll notice, especially in the pre-show, there's this stuff like everywhere. When you first walk in, there's a thing that says back in 5 minutes or whatever, key under the mat. And if you lift the mat up over to the right, there's a key laying there. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. But the Muppets, they're funny. They're family friendly, and I'm just curious to see what happens. If y'all know of anything, put it in the comments. I've been seeing all the comments, and some of the cast members is how I found out about they're doing the cast member only showing for like a week or whatever it is, so they can get good videos of everything. And then I'm sure while that's happening, it'll probably be like at Dino Land the next morning. It'll be walled off, and then we'll see. I've already seen where people are. I guess this is not technically the right thing to do, but people are keeping their 3D glasses, when they get off because they want to remember it or whatever. And they're already for sale on eBay for $100 or whatever. So that's a mess.
Oh goodness!
But I just hope they can keep a lot of that
Me too.
themed over at Rock and Roller Coaster or something. And I mean, to me, it would make sense that Villain Show is in that area already. Mm-hmm. So when Villain Lands finally gets built, let's say in 2 years, just
it'd be so much easier just to turn that into like a new
Muppet area.
New Muppet, yeah.
And we've talked about it before on here, but like Hollywood Studios is so different from when it began as MGM Studios, and there's stuff in weird places it shouldn't be. Like you got the launch bay, which is some old Star Wars stuff, but then you got the whole Galaxy's Edge in the back. There needs to be
something
to combine them. And I know it's like two storylines that are different, and even Star Tours is sort of almost on the edge of being too far out.
Yeah. It's crazy though, because you got some here, and then you've got some way in the back.
Yeah, I don't know
how you could combine it.
I mean, you want to tear all that down just to move it, but especially Launch Bay, that's a huge area that I think eventually something will happen to, and they'll have to move that stuff to somewhere. But they'll figure it out. But it's just so much different from being basically a backlot studio to now more of a Pixar
movie,
Star Wars, whatever type of area. And I think, they wouldn't expect it exactly to do that. So that's why stuff's so everywhere at Hollywood Studios. I love Hollywood Studios, but it is one of those, if you don't plan it out right, it'll be packed when you get there in the middle of the day. So you got to do the lightning lanes or get there early or whatever.
Do you think they'll eventually do away with the Indiana Jones show?
I don't know. That's a hard one.
I've always thought they would.
It's been there since right after opening day, but I mean, we're fixing to get Indiana Jones, the ride where dinosaurs at.
That's true.
So it's still somewhat fairly popular. So I don't know. But I mean, that's a big area too.
It is a big one.
I just think Hollywood Studios is sort of boxed in. They don't have really any room to grow out some of the other parks. So that's why they're having to do all this craziness. And I hate that. But like I say, there's so much room at Epcot. There's all these buildings that never get used or only get used for a month or two here and there. And all that, something could be put over there. Or like I say, I don't know that they would build a whole building for it, but Animal Kingdom, it would sort of fit in.
That's true.
Put it over there.
Animals.
That would be something else, because Animal Kingdom needs some more stuff. And I know they're already building some stuff, but they need to get it together.
True.
So I guess the whatever is, we'll have to wait and see what they move over to the Rock and Roller Coaster. Maybe they'll incorporate a big pre-show and use a lot of the Muppet Vision 3D stuff. Who knows?
That's true.
Who knows? But the area was a nice little area.
It was, because it wasn't really always crazy busy. You could always go and sit down at the little tables that they have in there, and
yep. And I mean, you could walk in anytime and not really wait and get on into the theater, and the little Muppet, the little courtyard area there was always neat. And then the Miss Piggy fountain.
Yep.
The Royal Flush. But anyway, I will try to get a video out this week and cut to like the different scenes instead of it just being one straight video of Waldorf and of everybody. I'll try to get that made this week and put it out before it closes. And then I know that, who was it? I think WDWNT's doing a big final weekend thing on YouTube, and I'm sure plenty of people will be covering it.
Oh, I'm sure.
And Ron did a whole day on it the other day, stayed there for like the whole day and did, I don't remember how many, like 20 shows or whatever. But anyway, if you got any special memories of Muppet Vision 3D, put them in the comments. I'd love to know about them. Our first, maybe second trip to Hollywood Studios, we didn't pay it much attention, to be honest. I mean, we knew it was there, but we were rushing around doing stuff. And then once we went to it, 2 years ago, whenever it was, we
fell in love with it.
It's been a part of every trip we go in there. So hate to see it go. Let us know what you think. I know some people don't really care about the Muppets, but it's, like I say, it's just a family friendly, funny, well thought out thing they got there. So,
but I feel like everybody knows about the Muppets. Like, you know, it was in our generation. You know, Joanna knows about it. It's just, I don't know, it's just kind of like one of those things that everybody experiences at some point. So, I don't know. It's sad to see it go, but
I'm just glad it's not completely
going away.
Yeah, at least Rock and Roller Coaster. And to me, it's going to be a sort of a weird, like, going from a theater situation to a roller coaster, but I guess they wanted to keep it somehow, and that was sort of...
I'm interested to see, like, what the story... the story line is going to be about.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be a neat little well-developed... I feel like there'll be a neat cue or something that tells a story, and then you get on it and whatever happens. But I just hope it's a quick turnaround when they do it.
Me too.
So let us know what you think. Thanks for watching. We go live on Thursday evenings on YouTube, roughly around 7:30, 8 o'clock. It just kind of varies. And then we have one of these come out every Monday. If anybody has topics you'd like to hear about or wants to join us and chat, we love it when people get on Thursday night and chat with us because it gives us some stuff to talk about. So hop on there. But we appreciate y'all watching. Hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.